Us, good morning. I thought we were bringing our hurleys and slitters this morning. Somebody put a shout out in the live chat for a game. For an old flick of the Waven point. Whoop, beat the howky. Here, Brian, put that in the closet, will you? We'll have a go later on. Ooh, what's going on here? Big shiny light. Let me sort that out. Oh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Juan. Good morning, all. Welcome to this thing of ours. This thing that you and I share here every morning, 9 a.m. sharp. Most nights, 8 p.m. sharp. And I do say most nights. Good morning, Crazy Cat. Good morning, John Francis. Good morning, Alan Curran, Alatrance. Hello from Switzerland. Herbert Ryan, also in the house. John Francis. Tommy, Kieran Heelan. Please, as we always do and as we always encourage you, on this, the first of our multi-stream broadcasts, we're also broadcasting this morning from Facebook. And if you go over and check on your Facebook page, you will see what's going on here. What's going on? You will see we are also streaming from Facebook this morning. And I will correct the bright light, bit of a glare off the high varnish from Brian last night. Please, you would, if you always could, please consider becoming a member of the Gran Torino and becoming a Denzian, a citizen, a patriot, a member of the Gran Torino experience. And also links in the description box below on how you can support this channel to remain independent and free from the demonetization that's currently going, because the couple of buttons missing from the YouTube studio this morning. So unable to monetize videos as it stands, but we crack on. You're here, I'm here. That's all that matters. We have it all. We have it all. Logos juice, as the title describes. I'm wondering where that glare is coming from. It's quite annoying. I'm out of focus. A lot going on there. Look at this huge glare going on. Okay. It's a little bit warmer, a little bit less lights, a little bit fuzzier, but look, we crack on. My guardian angel, yes, indeed. Let me just make a quick adjustment. See if I can disappear and reappear. Yep. A little bit of button pushing there this morning to get us started off. Big first all shout out is to my very own sister, who sits and rests with the angels. Happy birthday, Elise. 44, 45 years of age today, she would have been. Also notice we have members from the Facebook joining us there. They pop up. Just trying to figure this out. Yeah, well, what can we do, Tom? We're a little bit fuzzy. We crack on. We are not getting the millions, and we're not getting a bailout from the government a la RTE. Bungle says, you're a woodland retreat looking great, GT. Appreciate that this morning. Thank you. Yeah, it's coming on, isn't it? It's coming on. Brian is still kitting out the swimming pool this morning. Still has a little bit of clearing off. Thank you very much, James. Brian is finishing off the swimming pool this morning. So hopefully this evening, don't forget, our very own Fiona Marie Flanagan will be joining us this evening to speak on all things economics, economy, and what to expect, and, you know, potentials, some potentialities. But we digress. Has he got the kettle on? I've already made my cup of coffee. Where are you this morning, ladies and gentlemen? Tom Foran, Soderbeck House. Good morning, Gordon Ryan, citizen. Maria M, the Patriot asking where we're going to play. Little bit of the hurling. I've brought the shtick. We'll have a game later on. Yeah, no bands. We need a bit of banding, you know what I mean? A lot of scurrilous accusations going around at the moment. Scurrilous accusations. Yeah, I have been made aware of our very own Gamma Male. I know all about you. I am paying attention, but we will not give it airtime. Let's just say Masvidal, and I'll see you when I see you. And you may speak those words to me in person. Give Brian a few belts if he gets out of hand. Yeah, absolutely, Tommy. We have them. We have their cards marked. A couple of articles to bring with you, as we normally do in the morning times. Dish out stuff. You can't bait a game of hurl in from the Patriot. You certainly can't. I seen that comment there this morning. And I was quite enthused. Eunice, also, good morning, Eunice. Eunice is, I can't say your second name, not at this hour of the morning. Was that Ben Gilroy's word? No, I have my very own, and I don't be smashing plasterboard around. Good morning to you, Maurice from North Carolina. Fantastic stuff. Patriots and citizens from around the world, members of the great Gran Torino experience. How are we all doing this fine looking morning here in the Republic of Ireland? Sun is doing its very best, bit of cloudy overshadow. It's going to be a mild and murky day. Good day for drying, though, I believe. Good day for drying. Good day for drying out here at the back there in the forest. We might go out, have a bit of a kick around later on. Patricia O'Connell joining us from Monaghan. Good morning, Patricia. Good morning and a howdy ho, hey ho. Any denizens or anybody tuning in from the Facebook, trying to see how this configuration of multicast, multi-stream works. We are also, as I say, broadcasting to you from Facebook also this morning. Just trying that, working out. We'll check in with that later on. What have we got here? Irish and Tired is night here, possum stomping over the roof. I'd imagine you were down under, mate. Get Brian to do a few logs for the forest. I'll be chopping down trees later on this morning. Part of the daily physical rigor that we all must put ourselves through. 20 sit-ups, 20 press-ups, 20 star jumps this morning, changing it. Have we all had our morning? Have we all completed our morning Facebook? Look, Will McCall is joining us from Facebook. Great to see you. Let's drop up young Will there. Will McCall there from Facebook. Great to see you. I hope you don't mind me popping up your picture there as well. I know it's all a little bit sketchy sometimes if you are associated with the Gran Torino. The notorious Gran Torino. What shall we do? Let's jump in. First of all, let's get straight into some articles this morning and bring you up to date. This was written by Sleepy Jeb McGurk on the 3rd, but I thought it was worth revisiting, and I thought we'd much agree. Facebook is working. I've started a watch party. Fantastic. I don't know how that works. Great. Siobhan Phillips also joining us from Facebook. I see them here on this side. Are you conforming to the totalitarian HSE regime from Peter Kearney? Absolutely not. Big shout out to friends, family, and those of you near and dear afar. Good morning, lady. I hope you are joining me this morning. Thinking of you. There's Catherine Maxwell also joining us from Facebook. Fantastic to see. Now I'm playing around with a bit of configuration. The Facebook comments are popping up on my right, so there might be a bit of lagging. Obviously, they're not showing up on the Facebook live feed. Again, please check, if you could, and check your live chat streams after the show on the replay to see if they're coming through. Michael Murphy now lets us know that a council over here in Denmark just found out how to help immigration. Voted to use 70,000 to teach women how to use a bike. Fantastic. Denmark, as I believe, has just introduced some startling new legislation for mandatory vaccinations and arresting citizens. And again, you can see now that Denmark will be full on board with you will become a second-class citizen if indeed the mandatory vaccination protocols are rolled out. You will be denied access to government services. You'll be treated as a second-class citizen. You won't be able to use public transport. unless you have your badge or you have your armband to say that you've been a recovered person, if indeed Bill Gates's plan to conquer the world. And we will be touching on Bill Gates this morning. We have a few bits and pieces for him. They do for me on the app on the phone, but they don't on the PC. The live chat is gotcha, Marie. Yeah, it's fun. I don't know if it's the huge surge in people coming on and using the YouTube format now because the processing is taking time. It could very well be some sort of censorship, but we crack on regardless. They're only there as a publisher or a platform. But again, Denmark also bringing the armbands. This is exactly Susie Q. Who else made you wear the armbands or a signifying or indeed a belt? Anybody know how the belt originated, live chat? Who started off the wearing of belts for identifying what your standing was? Interesting to see how many of you are aware of that concept. Who brought in the belts, the wearing of belts as an identifier? Anyone? Is it a bit early in the morning for a pop quiz? Yes, Paddy Gannon hits it out the park straight off the bat. Well done, Paddy. And you can check in at the live chat for the answer there. Make this a little bit more interactive. Brian Bourne, pretty frustrated this morning with a lack of notification. And indeed, as I tune into you some 10 minutes after the fact, I just received my notification. A belt factory, no. Townsend 11, not indeed. No, it wasn't Japanese. You look to Paddy Gannon there. He hit it out of the park. The only correct answer from the start. Okay, let's jump into Sleepy Jed McGurk's article from the Gript. From gript.ie. Department of Social Protection, we won't report illegal migrants for who claim the dole. I don't really mean to get the blood going and the heart rate up, but I think it's imperative that we do cover these articles. Good news if you're a migrant living illegally in Ireland who wants to claim the new and improved €350 a week social welfare payment as a result of the coronavirus. Welfare.ie states that the Department of Employment Affairs and Social Protection wishes to confirm that there are no plans in place to share the data we receive as part of an immigrant's application for COVID-1984 pandemic unemployment payment with GNIB or the Department of Justice and Equality. That's nice. That's nice. These are extraordinary times and all that, but still, there's something jarring even for the likes of me, who's the resident softy on immigration around here, about the state handing out cash to people who have no business being here in the first place. We're not talking about asylum seekers here or people who have migrated legitimately from other countries. We're talking about people who don't want their data shared with the Department of Justice or the immigration authorities because they are not supposed to be here and are at risk of being deported because they have broken the law. Thank you for that, Higazo. But I appreciate that. For all those, whatever you can is much appreciated. Thank you very much for the super chat. And we're going to give them $350 a week. A few weeks ago, a similar announcement was made in respect of healthcare, but that one made sense. It basically said that if you're an illegal immigrant, that no questions would be asked about your status if you presented with coronavirus symptoms. That's perfectly sensible because we don't want people running around the country hiding their symptoms and infecting others or dying because of the fear they have of immigration laws. Well, no fear if you are an asylum seeker that is just being transported down to Kerry, Corrsavine, and with the potentiality that the now Department of Justice has now infected the whole community by transporting these people out of a temporary hotel in Dublin and moving them down through the length and breadth of the country and ensconcing them in Corrsavine, County Kerry, and have just presented with coronavirus, COVID-19, with, I'd imagine, no place to self-isolate. The article continues. Before my fellow immigration softies arrive in the comments, who are we kidding? They're going to comment long before they get this far into the article. Let's be clear about one thing. This has nothing to do with the Irish in America. Whatever else happens to illegal Irish immigrants in America who have also, remember, broken the law. I concur. We can be relatively sure that the US federal government is not going to give them $350 a week to tide them through the worst of the storm. This is a uniquely Irish innovation, and it's a terrible one for the simple reason that we should not reward crimes. Absolutely, Joe. Whose book have you been reading? Though also, here's another question. Isn't this just empty virtue signaling? How does an illegal immigrant prove that they have lost their job during the coronavirus crisis? Few illegal immigrants have PPS numbers. Well, apparently, if you go around Dublin, you can travel to many basement dwellings and acquire yourself a PPS number. Or, in fact, go to An Garda Síochána and they will stamp your certificates for a reasonable €10,000 a pop. Have we all forgotten about that one? An Garda Síochána stamping paperwork for 10,000 a pop. That one soon disappeared off the radar. Anybody else? Yeah, live chat, do we remember that one? Plenty of stories being subverted and buried in the COVID-19 endemic that seems to be a forgiver of all things previous. We also note that in yesterday's stream I mentioned to you that NAMA have produced paperwork and are trying to slip in their dealings under the table. The very definition of social welfare fraud, after all, is claiming social welfare payments illegitimately. For example, if yours truly has no children, was to somehow show up with a scheme to pretend that he had 3 children and claim the children's allowance, then a prosecution and possibly a prison sentence would follow. Why? Because I am not entitled to children's allowance. But if an illegal immigrant or an illegal migrant who is not entitled to social protection payments because they are an illegal immigrant is to claim them anyway, we're going to look the other way and say nothing. Sorry to go all pub bore here for a second, but political correctness gone mad is what it is. Anyway, this is the kind of story that will divide people almost perfectly on political lines. If you're a good liberal, you'll say that this is evidence of what a compassionate, common sense and decent country we are, looking after people during the crisis, no matter what their background or circumstance. If you're someone who's generally opposed to the present political settlement, you'll think it's evidence that we've gone totally mad. The good news or bad news, depending on which side you take, is that in all probability there won't be a huge line of illegal immigrants eligible to claim it anyway. Be interesting to note if there was any stats on that of claimants. Good morning, Eunice. Still playing the provocateur in the live chat. You play nicely in there. So what say you, live chat? I know I've seen many comments from citizens over here, one that was still working and his wife tried to claim the Superdole and was told that her husband was earning too much and that she didn't qualify. A citizen, a working citizen who lost their job, a mother of 3, and because her husband, after his overtime, was told that he earned too much and she didn't qualify. But if you're an illegal immigrant with no identifications, no reason to be here, you can claim the Superdole. And who's paying for that? You, me, and every other taxpayer. But about time this makeshift mid-management government are called to bear. But I also know from reports this morning that they're offering out some sort of green parcel out to tempt the Greens into government. You can see that the carbon tax is going to be knocked out exponentially if they do, or they are allowed to start up this another illegitimate government formation over government. And opposition, I hear you say. Any opposition here in Ireland? Do we have any opposition? Can anybody even spell the word opposition? I'd ask that and hand it over to Micheál Martin. And those of you from a Fianna Fáil sort of bent, where is your party? Where is the question, the very party that says sovereignty is a backward idea, a backward concept? They are all strokes. They are all brushes on the same paint. Ridiculous. Patricia O'Connell says, yeah, taxes will go through the roof. Taxes are already going through the roof. We are creeping up steadily and surely towards a 70%. If this isn't communism, if this is your form of socialism, I want no part of it. I opt out. I'm sorry, you can keep the crazy. I opt out. Because to just continuously bypass the will of the people in giving people automatic citizenships who just turn up, who indeed can turn up at the airport this morning and claim asylum seekers and then claim access to the welfare department. Sure, there's a never-ending supply. How do we meet? How do you placate a never-ending demand of people that would be willing to come in and pick fruit? Indeed, would you pick fruit for $3.50 a week if you were given the option in the glorious sunshine? If indeed Keating's were to allow Irish citizens partake up in any of the jobs. Yeah, but GT, they are. Not from reports I've seen from many students who applied for the very same jobs and were refused and were not even a return letter to let them know. Irish and Third says it can't afford to. Absolutely. Many people are going out of their fucking minds. Cannot meet their mortgage payments. Cannot even quantify for the 350 super dole. But yet we'll give illegal immigrants access and we'll turn a blind eye. A banana republic does not even come close. Absolutely, Brian Burns. And again, the 300 soldiers are defence forces who are due to arrive home and want to be back after their tour of duty to be reunited with their friends and family. Most importantly, I said their friends and family, but are stuck abroad. Catherine says they're paying $7.50 an hour to the Bulgarians. That's yet to be proven because there is no comment. I believe, and I keep pushing her and I'm prodding her and goading her, Ingrid Miley, one of the RTE journalists, to proffer the question, what rates are they being paid and where are they being held? And I say held, where are they being accommodated? Have they been given turnkey accommodation? Where indeed, I ask you, live chat, where's the homeless? Where's all the homeless on the streets? Are they being warehoused in Peter McVerry containers? Are they being warehoused for €47 a night in these supposed charitable warehouses, locking up people in warehouses for €47 a night? Absolutely farcical. Peter McVerry did some great things back in the day, but has now indeed jumped on board with other dungeons and become an Irish vulture fund, an Irish version of a vulture fund. So we don't always have Chinese and foreign national entities coming over here and buying up block houses and apartment off the plans and then re-renting them back to Irish citizens. Again, the landlord wars 2.0 continue. Not a blip out of our government, not a blip out of the would-be power grabblers wishing to stay in power because they are an illegitimate government. No matter what is formed, they have not been formed by the will of the people. And again, I say, where is the opposition? Where is Sinn Féin? Where is Fianna Fáil? I don't expect the bumbling PBP and all the usual commies to speak up because this is government overreach and they love it. Till it comes what? Knocking on their door. Money talks, absolutely, Paddy Gannon. Well, let's, absolutely, Brian. And again, Catherine Maxwell on Facebook says they refuse to answer. Let me just bring that up to you there so you can see the identifier of the Facebook. A Facebook quote. There's Catherine Maxwell. And what a lovely avatar that is, Catherine. Oh, weekly carers allowance as well. Paul K lets us know $219 a week carers allowance as well. Thank you for that, Paul. So there's innumerable amounts of way where our wealth or our death mountain is increasing and that people can draw from the death mountain because that's what it is. I'll speak upon this and I'll touch upon this with Fiona later on this evening when Fiona joins me later on this evening at 8 o'clock. Please do set your reminders. Press the little reminder button and tune in for that great show. I know Fiona is very welcomed and appreciated amongst all of you. I know you enjoy our conversations and what a very astute and eloquent woman she is and very knowledgeable on all things. And it is indeed an absolute pleasure to have her on the show before her star shoots off and she becomes a rising star when she sets up her own YouTube channel. And I encourage all of you citizens, if you're of a mind, get on your YouTube, get on your Facebook, get out, start broadcasting, become the citizen journalist that our country so desperately needs. She is indeed amazing. Quick slurp of the Logos juice. 22 in the house from Facebook. Great to see you all. Facebook, I hope it's, I don't know how it's going over there, but I hope you're having as much fun as we are here over on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. That's not bad. Logos juice, everybody. Let's steer our attention and let's go further afield across the waters back to our nearest and dearest and all our friends in the United States of America. Something I want you to pay particular attention to and keep an eye on this. Tom Fitton, again, our good friend from Judicial Watch, is doing some sterling work over there in the United States, doing the work that indeed the Department of Justice will not do over in the United States. And as we know, many of us who have been on the trail, who have been following this thing that's been going on for the last 3 years, this thing called the President Trump administration, the President Trump's presidency, and the huge pedophile gangs that he is rounding up and putting in prison, more than any other president in the last 2 or 3 generations, but not a blip from mainstream in mentioning any of that. But I want to touch on this article from our good friend Thomas Paine in the United States. And this goes back to Spygate. And as all roads are heading toward, it's becoming increasingly clear, as we've always spoken about, there is no chance that Obama did not know that the FBI and indeed the CIA and the NSA were spying on President Trump. I cannot hammer this to you home enough. Of all the different trains of thought and hypotheses and conspiracies, and indeed, I remind you, we people conspire every day. Let's push past the CIA triggered activated word to discount all hypotheses or any sort of thinking on who and what was involved in the Pfizergate soft coup on a sitting president. The article starts, President of Judicial Watch Tom Fitton talks about the ongoing Spygate scandal and where things stand at the moment. Non-partisan and independent news. This is from the Epochs, and it's not up. Let me drop that down there. I thought I had it all set up for you there. Obviously a mistake on my part. Let me see if I can correct it forthwith. Wherefore is the article Epoch? You promised me an article. No. Well, going back to what I spoke, we'll skip that article because I cannot bypass the paywall. To bring you up to date quickly and as quickly and a bit of a top-down person. So the Pfizer warrants were the tools that the FBI and the CIA use to what they did is they got a participant in the Trump administration who had proffered his services, Carter Page, and they targeted him a priority one enemy of the state, which meant that in effect he was nuclear. And I've spoken about this previous. Once they identified him as indeed a spy or a threat to national security, and they lied on the Pfizergate warrants that he was in contact or indeed colluding with Russian spies and stuff like that. They activated what was called a priority one, I believe. I might not be pronouncing that correctly. But in actuality, then all the NSA tools that were available then are then activated. So wherever Carter Page was walking, any communications devices in the vicinity, or indeed even if he walks into a building, that whole building then becomes locked in and open to spying from the NSA and the various tools used to spy. And then hence, even though they were specifically looking at him, all communications. So when Carter Page was in Trump Tower, you remember Trump Tower when the candidacy, when candidate President Trump or candidate Trump was starting off his campaign trail, he was operating out of Trump Towers in New York. It was then that General or Admiral, I'm after forgetting his name, live chat, NSA Rogers, is it? Rogers went and informed him that he was being spied upon. Again, this is the slow trickle trail, but on inspection, and now that the investigators are being investigated by in Durham, Special Investigator Durham, Priority 1, Martin, I believe it was called a Priority 1. The charges now, the criminal charges that Durham is now investigating, there is no, as William Barr said, there is no running president that is coming under the investigation. So all gloves are off, but we, time and time again, having waited patiently on the Inspector General's report, having waited patiently on the Mueller report, we now wait to see if Bull Durham will bring us any prosecutions. I believe some of the sealed indictments are being opened, but these, I would imagine, are the low-hanging fruit of MS-13 and various other bad actors that are to fall under the remit of the FISA warrant application. But the conclusion is, and it's now becoming apparently clear, that a 44 was aware and indeed signed off on the spying of candidate Trump and the continuation into President Trump. They were still spying on President Trump. That is sedition. That is a soft coup. And that all links lead back to the Clinton Foundation and the DNC and all of these contrived prosecutions directed at President Trump, trying to, oh God, I've got my early morning head on. What is the word? Impeach a president. There we go. To impeach the president of the United States have all failed miserably. When is President Trump going to release the hounds? When will the dogs of war, Brian, release the dogs of war? Release them now, I tell you. Yes. Yeah, coffees and teas all around, as per usual. And who amongst you is going to spend the day reading the WikiLeaks drops? How many of you are aware that the whole of the WikiLeaks dropped last night? And it's all there for everybody to see. I would imagine Corey Diggs, Tracy B, and imagine all the great investigators will be digging through that treasure trove of information, and we will see reports start to trickle out through that from all your various YouTube channels and stations, those that you trust the nearest and dearest. But I would recommend Tracy Diggs, obviously, huge, great platform, tracydiggs.com, if you're looking for some solid journalism. For myself, Tracy B also. And we haven't heard back from Liz Cronkin. I'd imagine she's doing a tour on that documentary that her and that stunt driver have produced. How many of you guys, what's going on there, 44? 440. Indeed, EJ, you keep an eye on that situation there. How many of you have now watched the documentary? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Out of Darkness live chat. Have you watched it? Have you seen it? And does anybody know the current count? I believe last time I looked, it was 9 million views. Out of Shadows. Metal Kel says yes, he's watched it, or they have watched it. Nikki, Kermit, D. Nipper, McCavish. Carl Carr's yet to watch it. Call it borrowed. Yes, fantastic. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. Absolutely shocking stuff. And Tara was a no, Con Max there, everybody. So it looks, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that we have all watched it. What was indeed your thoughts? A quick comment there. Let me know your thoughts on what you think of it. Credible. I mean, everything and anything that we've spoken about. Carol lets us know that she watched Amazing Polly. I did catch up on Amazing Polly last night. Another great breakdown and a good research. But again, Amazing Polly and other YouTube channels doing all the sterling work that mainstream media won't cover, that won't investigate or indeed throw an eye on or a cursory glance. Yes, credible from EJF. It needs to be watched from Paul K. Kieran Heelan says, yeah, it's good and it's credible. And it's indeed the fall of the cabal. Totally credible. It is. And when we see that symbology will be their downfall, when we understand the persuasion or the pre-programming that they've done throughout Hollywood, and that indeed Netflix and the likes of that are still perpetrating, with shows like Lucifer and stuff like that, kind of normalizing Luciferianism. Don't want to investigate from Alan Dawson. I think it's imperative that you do become aware of it at the very least, because the crimes themselves are absolutely, as we've all come to know, absolutely despicable. There's not even a word for it. Tommy says, what do you think of the 3 days of darkness? Have you heard of that yet? Not yet. I believe it was 10 days of darkness. And again, Nikki Wright Patru, how many of us have seen the 2012 Olympic ceremony, the symbolism? Yeah. And for those of you that are unaware of it, it's time to bring yourself out of the closet and engage and do your research and get used to the parlance of how we speak and how we address these matters by assuasion. Also, when we talk about the WikiLeaks being a massive dump, it was also posited and also suggested that Microsoft, the World Health Organization, Wuhan lab have been hacked, and addresses and emails are out. Many of you are aware out there, also live chat and Facebook. Facebook, not forgetting about you. We have 31, I believe, from Facebook joining us this morning. Yeah, many of your heroes and stars in Hollywood and in the music industry are complicit. Points to note also Lady Gaga, straight off the bat. And how many of you are aware of all of those and their followers on the Instagram pages, the likes of James Elephants and who else was that director? James Gunn, Gunn, Gunnn. Also actively speaking about human trafficking, pedophilia, amongst other things. And it's right there in front of your face for all to see. I hope, Amazing Polly spoke on it as well. We've done many investigations. I've gone down many rabbit holes as well. In particular, I found fairly heinous was the Standard group of hotels. I hope a great many of you would be up to date on the Standard hotels. Live chat, let me know, are you aware in the Los Angeles region, we know Schiff, he of the Intelligence Committee, has a stake in the Standard group of hotels. Are you aware of the Standard and its very curious room orders and how it procures pizzas and chickens from the local region? 3 days of darkness. Okay, Tracy Bray, I'll keep an eye out on that. Wasn't aware of that. Be interesting to see if that comes about. The Standard Hotel, Richard Kelly is a big yes. Great deal. Great many of you. Great few of, or a great number of you as well, also unaware of the Standard group of hotels in Los Angeles. Now, I ask you that for one particular reason, and another set of reasons. Who of the Irish elite also controls the Standard hotels in Haiti? Are you aware of that? Do you know who operates the Standard hotels in Haiti? Bring it out. Let me see. Yes, Brian Bourne. Yes, Irish Proud. Absolutely. Yes, the Nipper. Absolutely, free agent of Adams. There you can see your answer there in the live chat there, Carol Carr. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I only hope, that's why I pay particular attention to the crimes and the investigations for FISA warrant. Absolutely, Catherine. Yeah, you're all on the money there, folks. You know who. So I'm hoping, my wish list is that when the investigations go through from the FISA applications and the FISA warrants, and then that leads on, as we'd expect, to the Nuremberg trials for sedition, Nuremberg trial-esque, that the Irish, those that are complicit with the Global Health Initiative and all of the operations that were continued and happened and perpetrated on the people of Haiti, who still to this day are walking around in absolute carnage, while 10 billion of money given to the Global Health Initiative, 88% of it being used for 88 to 90% of it being used for I see what's going on there. A44. Just play nicely in the live chat there. distracting from my thoughts. I'm hoping when them investigations that global elite, those global cabals, those with a controlling interest in the standard group of hotels will be complicit for crimes against children. And I stoke this and I lead this out for those in the live chat, those tuning in after the show that have not done their investigation or are unaware. There's a soft lead in for you. And I know the filters have been removed from Google, and I still believe that to be the case. So you may start your investigation with the standard group of hotels and lead that back in. I'm sure many of the live chat members there will have other links for you to start your inquiry there if you are unaware of it. Absolutely, Martin Murphy. That's why he must be investigated, all of them. That's why we here in Ireland are like a little petri dish. We're so insulated from the rest of global news because of the deadly virus, the contagion that is fake news, that is our mainstream media, our supposed fourth estate. Utterly disgusting. Okay, I've warbled out long enough, but I did mention that the email addresses and passwords from Microsoft have been hacked. Let us bring up this article for you here. Email addresses and passwords from the World Health Organization, NIH, Wuhan Lab, and Gates Foundation dumped on 4chan. A cache of nearly 25,000 email addresses and passwords allegedly belonging to the World Health Organization, National Institute of Health, Wuhan Institute of Virology, the Bill Gates Foundation, and several other groups involved with coronavirus pandemic response were dumped on 4chan before appearing on several other websites, according to the Site Intelligence Group. The report by Site, based in Bethesda, said the largest group of alleged emails and passwords was from the NIH, with 9,938 found on a list posted online. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention had the second highest number, with 6,857. The World Bank had 5,120, and the list of WHO addresses and passwords totaled 2,732, according to the Washington Post. World Health Organization Chief Information Officer Bernardo Mariano told Bloomberg that the organization wasn't hacked and that the data was possibly obtained through prior data breaches. The employees may have used their work email addresses to register an account for a particular website, and then that website has been hacked, leaking their password. According to Mariano, 400 of the credentials were still active, and he claims that none of the passwords were used to access sensitive information due to the organization's two-factor authentication system. 4chan users, on the other hand, said that they were able to use the passwords to gain access to a WHO website called Extranet, according to Bloomberg. So it has been verified that there was indeed a hack, although they're trying to push it off to put the blame on a previous hack, but it is what hacked, and it'll be interesting to see the information that shows through from 4chan, what the good anons and the bakers will be able to make of that, and I'm sure many truths will be uncovered through their email. Again, we only have to point towards Podesta emails and Hillary Clinton's emails that were released through the Vault 7 of WikiLeaks. If you haven't done anything down there, I must encourage you to do your investigations, because if and when it does, and I hope when more than if, that possibly the true scope of the crimes will not be known by many people, but those of us that are paying attention are want to see, I don't know, what should be the crime to fit the punishment? Live chat, what would you entail for? What would you ask for if indeed a tenth of what we suspect to be true is absolutely confirmed through the WikiLeaks? We have a couple of trolls in this morning. Okay, EJ, I will take care of that one. Absolutely. Solomons, you have it. You're on the ball. On the ball. Ban hammer. Straight out the door. Okay, last article for me this morning as we cruise on into the last 10 or 15 minutes of our show. Firing squad. Bit too quick and simplistic for mine. I prefer the rope. Absolutely hounded the down, drops in. And I'm sorry if it sounds shocking like that, but if you don't understand, or if you haven't read or investigated or uncovered a tenth of what they're being supposedly accused of, it's absolutely prehistoric. Okay, last one from me this morning. And we go back to our old friend, all things Cuiga G. Yeah. Well then there, EJF, you work away. I can see what's going on there. This article then, Congress tells the SEC to reverse 5G ruling opposed by the US military, or it will. The Pentagon and other agencies said plan could interfere with vital GPS signals. Bipartisan leaders of two powerful congressional committees told the Federal Communications Commission to reverse a ruling allowing a Virginia company to activate a 5G network that could disrupt military and other GPS signals. The leaders of the House and Senate Armed Services Committees wrote in an appeal Wednesday that they would force the issue through legislation if the SEC does not overturn its own decision to allow Ligado Networks to implement a network on the L-band spectrum. Ligado's plan to use the L-band would risk interfering with signals that are important to national security, wrote Senators Jim Inhofe and Jack Reed, along with Republican Adam Smith and Mac Thornberry, who are the chairman and ranking members of the two committees. The four leaders noted that the country's current most pressing concern is the coronavirus pandemic, but the Federal Communications Commission has used the crisis under the cover of darkness to approve a long-stalled application by Ligado Networks. What's happening here, live chat? What's happening here? Is it essential? The proposal from Ligado is opposed by multiple US agencies. The leaders also reminded the FCC, the Department of Defense, Commerce, Interior, Justice, Homeland Security, Energy and Transportation, as well as NASA and National Science Foundation, the Coast Guard and the Federal Aviation Administration all strongly object to Ligado's plans. The committee leaders asked the FCC to cancel the Ligado ruling if they do not, and unless President Trump intervenes to stop this from moving forward, they wrote, it will be up to Congress to clean out the mess. So there are pushbacks, even if it is just on the timing of the rollout and stuff like that. We have had no consultation whatsoever. A lot of messing going on in the live chat there. And again, we've had no rollout, no conversation, no conversation in regards to our rollout of 5G. It's just going on unabated and unabashed. So just a couple of small articles in there with you this morning. Great to have the Facebook members joining us here this morning. Hopefully get to see how the quotes and the stats. I'll have a look at the analytics afterwards there and see how it plays out. And again, I will read through all your comments. I really do enjoy reading through your comments. Please don't forget, leave a comment in the section below and check about what have we got here. Torino, every few nights we have air rescue helicopter Coast Guard out, lights flashing around the harbour. 4 a.m. this morning from MacTavish. Whereabouts are you located, MacTavish? I would imagine we have many illegal immigrants coming over here to claim they're 350 because word has spread out. Also, I would like to make note of any patriots down along the south where the Spanish ferry comes in, because we now have a direct route from Spain coming into the southern coast of Ireland, into Cork, I believe. Okay, thanks for that, MacTavish. I'm not absolutely too far away from that location. I might take a midnight stroll or a midnight cruise around in the Gran Torino to see if we can see what you speak of. But I can imagine many people are trying to cross the channel and trying to gain access here to the unlimited money pot that Ireland seems to have. We'll just continue to carry on borrowing off China against our children's futures and encourage more and more people from around the world to come and get their unchallenged super dole money. Even though, as I've already said, or as said at the start, that many citizens here are not entitled to it and have been refused because their partners earn too much money. So we are indeed the land of milk and honey, for Zarowski. Maureen O'Leary says, no 350 for those on job seekers, disability or invalidity. So where is this equality? Precisely, Maureen. Great, very pertinent point. Thank you for throwing that up. All on the way to Treasure Island. Yeah, like I say, supply and demand. If you have an unlimited demand, how are we supposed to meet that? Is everybody in the world who lands at the airport eligible to claim 350 without producing any sort of documentation? We see the Keeling's reaction from the citizens here in Ireland. I seen a picture earlier on. Many of the fruit produce are being left and tried to be sold off. Well done. Well done. We know that the politics is lost from us because they do not represent us in any way, shape, or form, or any of the fooled patsies that buy in and clap them on, because they do not listen or pay attention to us. This is a global situation, and they are ruled from Brussels. And Brussels is soon to be ruled by Islam, because that is becoming overrun. Well, more great things to look forward to in the future. Yeah, absolutely. The British reactor too. I can imagine that's exactly what's happening with the lights and helicopters. And Paul Wedlock says it. Human trafficking, as we've always said, human trafficking. And what's that? Stephen Lyon says, yeah, in regards to the hospitals, the empty hospitals that the processing pimp, as I call him, and Dobby have bought private hospitals and are now sitting vacant at a cost of, I think it's 28 million a month, or as Stephen Lloyd lets us know, 44,000 per bed per day, sitting idle and Irish taxpayers' money pumping into the pockets of Dobby and the processing pimp. Who is the processing pimp? Just to make sure you're aware of that live chat. Who is the processing pimp? Charles Russell says, GT, your streams keep lagging. You need 5G. Still waiting for an answer for the processing pimp. Rose has no idea. No, not Larry. Absolutely, Tomcat. Kaboom! I remind you, my interview with Seamus May. Go back to the back catalogue there. And in the video link to the interview with Seamus May, I left his report on banking beef, the big cartels of the banking and beef cartels and building. Seamus did a sterling report that was produced, I think, in 2015. Was supposed to be offered up into some of the committees in our committee meetings here in the Republic of Ireland, but it was never used. So I encourage you to go back, and if you have the time, to look at the connections between the banking, beef, and building cartels here in Ireland. Seamus's much vaunted report was shelved and put off. But I encourage you there. I have it on a Google hard drive in the link in the description box to that interview. Please go back and inform yourself. I like that one as well, Martin. I won't say the names outright, but good form of deduction there, Martin Murphy. It was indeed the processing pimp. Okay, live chat, as we round off this morning's show, I want to thank you again for joining me this morning for these early morning broadcasts. I hope you get as much out of it as I do. I look very much forward to these meetings, jumping in and joining in with you, and seeing what is currently agitating the neck hairs for you, lads. Let's have a quick tip of the ball before we sign off. It's young Jimmy Barry Murphy and his who's in for a kickaboo. Anyway, wasn't all them years playing for Crave Kieran weren't wasted. Hey, Crave Kieran, hope you're doing well. Great team. Okay, live chat, let's do this thing of ours. Let's have a roll call and let's sign off. We'll have a little puck about in the garden, or actually I'll have a puck about in the forest out the back here later on. Jimmy Barry Murphy, I remember that. What a great player. Christy Ring was born and raised on Christy Ring. What a fantastic hurler. Okay, so the roll call kicks in. Let's do this thing of ours. John Francis, 29, born in Newry, living in Hatvan, Hungary. Hey, Nicky, you keep me sane as well. Great for that. Thanks for that comment. Maureen O'Leary, 59, Clonakilty. Michael Collins, Country West, Cork. DJ Carey, absolutely DJ. What a player. Be careful of the bears outside, GT, from Streaky Bacon. We have Eunice in a gangbang, 40 from Zimbabwe. Eunice, I love reading that out. You're very clever. Hounded Down, 60 in Down. Have a good day. Noreen Lanigan, 50 in the Premier County. Martin Murphy, Cork, 42. Kieran Heelan is 44 in Tipperary. Jimmy B is from Pennsylvania. Peace out, Martin Murphy, Cork, 42. Keith Hughes, 44 in Athenry. Low rye the field of Athenry. That might be on the list. Rainy Crisis, Michigan loves you, and I love you too, Michigan. Hurl for Ireland off Lunday catching EU fish. Go get it done, TT. Keep it busy. EJF is in Longford. Paul Ryan is Brookwood, Dublin 5. Thanks, Hairbear Ryan. Alan Dawson is in Spain. Bungle 51 in the Gulag. Have a great day, Patriots. Donkey O'Day tipping at windmills is a Scotsman living in Peterborough. Ger Cahill, Loud Village. My apologies. Irish and Third, you great moderating in there, EJF and Solomons. Appreciate that. Keeping the live chat pristine and clear. Sol FX is 48 in Cavan. Paul Wedlock is GMT. Grand Media Torino. Natas in the house is in Zog 55. Great for joining us. Natas. Brenda Cassidy is Donegal in the house. Eilish Manning. Get some sun on them legs. I know, yeah. I did try. Who's seen the Gran Torino fighting Irish tattoo? Somebody said to me yesterday, that's a very demonic looking tattoo. I said, that's the fighting Irish. Cup a hold of yourself. Too young to be a boomer from County Wicklow from MacTavish. 36 Blackrock. Happy Hurling GT from Zarowski. Richie Kelly is Uchterard 50. Green and red of Mayo GT from Declan Ruddy. We also have North Essex United Kingdom from Gary Gallagher, channel member. Thank you very much. Wand P Man 38, Dublin 5, Patriot. And we have Morris Theban, Black Irish from North Carolina. My man, fantastic. Thank you for that shout out, Maurice. Charles Russell, 33, Blanchardstown, 1984 New World Order. You have a great and blessed day too. From Sussex in England, from Sally. Mary's Board, 48, Leash Carlo, practicing my lift and strike with my hurl and schlitter. Get it done, Mary. Get it done. Fantastic. And a great day from River Queen from South Dublin. Shamrock 1996. 1966 is in the K. 53. God bless to you, sir. More Peace says Gura Mahagut, Galer Acharja, Slán Gafoil. John Paul Williams. Maggie loves watching GT. Fantastic. White Marsh is 43 in Drogheda. Stay safe there, Whitey. Keith Cookman, 49, born in Dublin, living life in North Tipperary. Another great day. Patriots, spread the word and start a co-op. Fantastic suggestion. Irish and Tired, House of Pain, Éire Tattoo. Absolutely. House of Pain, you got it. Costa del Fingus, the biggest open prison in Ireland from Brian Byrne. Kenneth Noel Curran is 68 from York. Uravic. Oh, I do apologize. I cannot read the Latin part of it. Don't mind the Irish part of it, Kenneth. You'd have to break that down and give me the English version. Much to my shame. James Fury's 40, Tasmania. God bless and keep it lit. Gordon Redding is 45 in sunny Bournemouth. Fantastic area. Rose White, have a lovely day to you. And thank you for joining us on the stream this morning. Paddy Gannon, who let the dogs out? Who? Carol Carr, 53 from Bristol, UK. Now residing in the bonny shore of Donegal. You know who I'm pointing at. Kermit II is 19 from South Landenstein. All right, Geezer. Kermit, you out, Geezer. What's the story, my old fruit picker? EJF, hit it up. The British reactor is still 21. L.R. Luciano, 32 in Leash, I believe. Brian Bourne says later, comrades. And Pepe Yadawake, Ross Lair, 53. Tom Foran says ILA, Irish Liberation Army. Joan of Arc, 40 in the UK, Polish people. And I think that's rounding us off there. Go easy with the button there. Okay, Patriots, I shall see you this evening at 8 o'clock. Please join me when I am joined by the one and only Fiona Marie Flanagan. Looking forward very much to that conversation tonight to get her perspective and her take on all things happening in the world, but all things happening here in the Republic of Ireland, and touching back and giving us some direction on the future of economics in Ireland. Johnny Doyle finishes off, says 43 from Dublin, tackling the garden again today. Get it done. Keep yourself fit and active. Keep yourself busy. Keep the mind occupied, ladies and gentlemen. Keep the mind occupied. We will sign off there and we'll do a quick promo. Keep your eye out for, let me know if you can see if you can see the stream afterwards, if it is getting through the process. Please don't forget, if you're new to the channel, press the like button, press the subscription, and please consider leaving a chat or a comment in the comment section below. Also, you might consider becoming a member by clicking the join button directly beside the notifications button down below. Well done, EJF. Great work there this morning. Appreciate that. Becoming a member of the channel by pressing on the join button, where there's a list of options there how you can help support the channel. And speaking of support, links in the description box down below of the many great other areas. Please make your way over to the worldwide grandtorino.ie website with a little of options. Hopefully, when my web developer comes back online, we will be able to update the platform over there. But again, I want to thank you all. Thank you one and all for joining me here this morning. See you later on this evening. Have a great, blessed day, and get yourself out in the sunshine, get some fresh air, and keep yourself busy. And a lot of you will say, well, I'm fairly busy with a household full of kids here. And I must check in, and I'll ask that tonight as well from Fiona about the homeschooling. I've got many of my great friends reporting on their children's nigh on blossoming with homeschooling and the leaps and bounds that they are making with one-on-one attention from you, the parents, but continuing on their schoolwork, which is vital. It's vital that we get this, that we get back open and we get back out working again, as many reports from around the world are questioning the statistics and the reports from around the world on the recording of COVID virus deaths. Okay, live chat, I'm going to sign off. Enough waffling for me. See you later on this evening. Wuss.